Hey guys, hope everything is going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH underscore sports. Also, follow me on my finance channel at AIH Finance. Okay, this morning, I'm going to post this video on Saturday though. It's Friday night. So this morning, I saw a video by Neo, and it was basically the ending of his live stream from the other day. He had on Flipping Steve and Filmington. Is that the YouTube handle? I don't know. I've heard of the name, but I don't watch his videos. But the other two I do watch. And during that live stream, what wasn't shown was the comment that I made during that live stream. And I basically said F1 equals pump and dump. And that's what basically generated that conversation that went on. And here's the thing, I did see their response to it during the live stream. And I told them specifically, like, hey, I'm not saying that you're pumping and dumping. But this is a topic that definitely needs to be talked about. And here's why. I've seen a lot of shady behavior in the financial world. And in the financial world, there is more volume. And if I'm able to detect that shady behavior in other individuals as well, then what happens in a low volume market like collectibles? And also now you have social media, and pumping and dumping is much more easier. Okay, I'll give you an example in the financial world. It's over a decade ago. There's this one group, NIA, and there's this one uh, guy in the gold and silver community. It's Peter Schiff. Some of you may have heard of him. And there's a lot of contention around Peter Schiff. He's a divisive figure. Some people either like him or hate him. And he noticed that there's this one organization, NIA. This was him saying this, okay? This is not me giving my own opinion. So he felt that NIA was pumping and dumping, and they got around it, and they got around it because they were making disclosures. But what they were saying is, hey, this stock is great, but in reality it wasn't great, and you could tell by the financials. And over a decade ago, you see some of the recommendations that NIA was making, though some of those stocks went from about $2 to, I swear, one time it went over like $40 at one point. And basically, they said that, hey, we have this many shares and we're going to sell them. Peter was going after them because initially he felt that their disclosures weren't as great, and then they improved what they were doing and how long they were going to hold it for. And you have to remember, you know, this is a regulated market in the stock market, and they were able to get away with it, but that's because they made disclosures. And one of the guys in NIA, Jonathan Lebed, this individual, you could look it up online. He had to, I believe, he had to pay a fine to the SEC, and I don't think he admitted any wrongdoing. But this was when he was 15 years old, and I think Michael Lewis, the author, outlined this as well, that some hanky panky was going on. Okay, I think it was like Yahoo chat room boards, and it was involving penny stocks. And a similar behavior that is in penny stocks is, I believe, in sports cards. and other collectibles. And I'm not saying Neo and Flipping Steve do that. They don't, in my opinion. But there are individuals that have questionable behavior, and that's why I call it out. I highlighted a one F1 promoter and influencer, and I said that, look, this type of behavior is wouldn't fly in the equity market. You're not giving disclosures. You're not giving disclosures what you're doing. And then on top of it, you're promoting F1 day after day after day. And then you go on your YouTube channel and then you say, hey, I want to sell to the community. But then I get word that they're telling some of their subscribers that they want to basically get rid of the cars as soon as possible. That's a conflict of interest. That stuff does not fly in the equity world. And I have a friend that writes for Seeking Alpha. And on Seeking Alpha, you have to list down the positions that you have relevant to the article that you're writing. And you have to disclose, are you going to sell it within a certain amount of time? Yes or no? And when it comes to now back to sports cards and other small cards, not small cards, but cards with low population size, I think it's in the best interest of content creators with many subscribers to be like, hey, look, I bought this at the show. I'm thinking of flipping this, and here's the time frame that I'm holding it for. Okay, the more honest they are with what their intentions are, the better, right? Now, if you're being shady and you're being fake, and you're saying like, "Oh man, like I got this card," and then eventually you're trying to dump it onto people, and you're not telling the truth about this. You're basically promoting a bunch of nonsense, and you could tell who is full of nonsense and who is actually legitimate. And I'm not bashing on flippers, right? If you want to flip, go ahead. Just don't be um, doing some hanky panky, right? I mean, we see hanky panky going on with these secondary sales in Zero Cool, in my opinion. And I'm going to probably do a live stream in the next couple of days about that. Maybe Sunday night. I'll see. But, anyways, I'm just looking at all of this behavior, and I don't like it at all. And I saw this similar type of unethical behavior. It wasn't really pumping and dumping, but you could say, maybe you could classify it. But I remember 2013, one of my buddies that I got on, and we were talking about the bubble over a year ago, John. And he worked for a silver company that sold bullion. And what was going on is these guys already sold their bullion, and they were then telling their sales guys to promote these BS stories of how the comics would default, and you better get your silver, and you better get your silver because the US dollar is going to collapse too. None of that happened. The dollar actually was rallying, ironically. So you have shady characters in these type of markets, gold and silver, dealing with specifically bullion. That's not regulated. You're looking at this market here, sports cards. It's really not regulated. People can commit fraud, and they could usually get away with it. Sometimes the FBI will get involved if it's a big case, like if it's trimming and it's a high net worth card. Okay, they may get involved with that. But this lower level stuff, no, they're not going to do that. And I think the best way for content creators, once again, if you're showing a low population card and it could easily move markets, just be honest with what you're doing. I'll give you two good examples. Dustin, I've mentioned this before. He was honest with him purchasing NASCAR. He's being transparent. I like that. You had the P. Ryan collection, I believe. He's on Instagram. He's linked to some of my work, and he's helped me get some subscribers. So thank you once again. I used to call it Pryon, but I think it's P. Ryan, his first initial last name. And he was disclosing, I think, a month ago or 3 weeks ago that, hey, I'm selling these tickets. Here's a good reason to buy it. Here's not a good reason to buy it. Like, okay, you're disclosing it. You're saying, okay, he has a lot of followers on Instagram. So, people with a lot of followers, in my opinion, should be careful because you could easily move markets. This market is not regulated, and also people will start making accusations against you. If the market goes down, the thing is that people are going to turn more and more against YouTube content creators, including myself. And if you are not being honest, and if you're being shady, well, guess what? The chickens will come home to roost. So that's why, feel free to talk about it, but, be careful. I am hesitant on talking about some of the purchases that I made recently and not showing them because they could move markets. Okay. I mean, I have over 1,000 subscribers. It may not be a lot, but I have to think about showing this and in what context. And I'm trying to be a little more careful in the words that I use when describing these cards. When I had a few hundred subscribers, I'm like, okay, I could say whatever the hell I want to say. But now I have to be very careful because, other people may just start buying and it could just move the price up. It sounds crazy, but, if it's a low population card, who knows? Anyways, guys, I wanted to respond to Neo. Those are my thoughts about that. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Comment down below, guys. Thank you. Bye.